Hey everybody, how you doing? Got a video for you today. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the 5 things you're doing wrong with your Zippo. This is mainly for beginners and little things you got to know on how to keep your Zippo operating and things you might be doing wrong. A helpful video for people who are just coming into the hobby. Uh, so if you could like and subscribe and share and comment down below maybe something I had missed in the video that you think someone should know, because obviously I can't get everything. So it's good to have that kind of community in the chat. A lot of people read the comments for this reason. So let's just get the video started. And coming in at number 5, the fifth thing you're doing wrong here all the time with your Zippo, you're overfilling it. And when you're overfilling your Zippo, this can lead to a lot of negative things like fireballs when you light it because it's been sitting there and it's stewing and there's so much and it just lights everywhere and your lid lights. And anyone who's done it knows what I'm talking about. So not only are you creating that kind of a hazard, uh, also another thing that can happen is the fluid is leaking out of the Zippo in your pocket and you get like a chemical rash on your leg. It's never happened to me, but I have heard it happen to other people, and I've seen it in the comments multiple times. People have said that it has happened to them. So overfilling is definitely something you got to watch for, guys, and something you should be taking note on. How I fill, I just take my insert and I do it for 7 seconds, and then I wait 10 seconds, and then I do like another 5. That should be enough to never overfill it. It'll start coming out of your wick eventually because you'll have it upside down and you'll see it start dripping on the table through your wick. It's probably already overfilled at that point. That's something you do not want. And a lot of people will say, "Oh well, you gotta get the wick wet too, so overfilling is necessary." I've seen people honestly say that. No, it's not. All you have to do to get around that is once you've filled it the way I've said it and it's not overfilling, the wick will eventually get wet. But all you have to do is turn your Zippo bottle over and give it 1 or 2 drops on the wick, and then your wick is wet. And you're preventing that overfilling and all the dangerous hazards that come with it. So overfilling's a pretty big one. So that's why I wanted to get it first and out of the way. It is pretty important. So now, the number 4 thing you're doing wrong with your Zippo is you're probably damaging the hinge and you're not even knowing it. When it comes to longevity of your Zippo, now sure, I know a lot of you are like me. You're like, I don't really care because my Zippo's covered for life. If the hinge ever breaks or comes off or whatever, I'll just send it to Zippo and they'll fix it for me for free. And that's why Zippo is so awesome. Like to hold on to that guarantee for all these years. It doesn't matter how old or what happened to your Zippo, they will do something about it. And you always gotta give props to Zippo for that. There's not a lot of companies doing that still. Buckknife still does it, just as an option. But so how you're damaging the hinge, and like I said, it's probably not important to most of you, but if you want to prolong a nicer Zippo or a sentimental Zippo, this is the best way to do it. Uh, you got to watch when you're closing it. Like sometimes when you're closing it, you don't realize you're putting force on it sideways. See that? And I close it cockeye. I don't know if you caught it. And I do it in this one all too, because I close it like that. See? I closed it cockeyed again. I'm putting unnecessary pressure on the hinge because you don't realize that you're not lifting it straight and shutting it a lot of the time, right? So a lot of the times you're doing that back and forth and you're wiggling that pin loose. And once the pin gets loose, that's when the hinge rings that hold the pin, they start getting loose, and and then everything starts going wrong. So just watch how you're closing it, watch how many tricks you're doing. Don't do tricks on your sentimental Zippo, don't do tricks on your expensive Zippos. That's why I always tell people, get yourself a nice cheap beater Zippo, $10 at Walmart, and slap away on that one, man, because you don't want to ruin your one of your good ones doing it. So just watch the way you're closing it and watch the tricks you're doing with it, and do it accordingly to the Zippo you want it done on, not the Zippo, a good one you want to ruin for no reason. Uh, Now, and the number 3. Now we're moving on down the list. The number 3 reason you're doing wrong with your Zippo is you're not taking care of the wick properly. Sorry, I'm using butane in both those, so I can't really show. But you're not maintaining the wick properly. As you can see, if you put it away and stop using it, the copper corrodes in the wick, everything like that. Using your insert and then putting it away full or this or that, it leaves a bunch of crap on the inside of here if you take it all apart. And like I said, the copper on the wire in the wick, it'll go all over the cotton. It goes all over here, causes it not to light properly. And sometimes you'll think you need to trim the wick, when in fact you actually don't need to trim the wick. If you just took a Q-tip and some lighter fluid, and you could just clean that wick. If it's all small, black, and charred and looking bad, just keep dousing it with lighter fluid and keep soaking it with the Q-tip and keep pressing it against the side of the chimney. And you'll eventually clean that thing back to brand new. And having a clean wick will also help you light the Zippo easier. It'll light first strike more often because the vapors are able to come through. You got to keep the wick clean, guys. And a lot of the times, trimming isn't the answer. Trimming is the last resort on a ruined wick. Wick maintenance is probably the best. So now, moving on to number 2. This is a good thing to have because this is one of the biggest complaints I get on my channel. It's probably one of in the top 10 comments I get all the time is their butane inserts don't work. And I just want to say, this butane insert is from when they very first came out. The first month they came out, I ordered 2 of them. And I got them and I've had them on my channel. I've never had to do anything to this insert except for fix the governor, right? But that's because I was using Zippo and Ronson butane. So the number 2 thing you are doing wrong with your Zippo insert are you using the wrong butane inside the insert. You have to be using something better than Zippo or Ronson butane. Let me tell you now. Let me tell you this straight away. If you get a butane insert, stop running Zippo in it, stop running Ronson. It might work for the first 2 weeks. It'll eventually never work again. It is a shit butane. I can't stand it. It doesn't work very well. Now, for all my American subscribers, if you could do me a favor, if you could comment below what butane you're using, just so people can check the comments and know what type of butane to get that'll run. The only butane I'm aware of right now that runs in a Zippo just perfectly is the Colibri. It is the Colibri butane. That's what all my American friends get. In Canada, just go to Canadian Tire and get some M-Zone butane. It's only $7 for a bottle, and it runs in all my inserts just perfect. It runs them good. I don't think it's like the highest quality butane like Colibri is, but it's high enough to work in these torch lighters. So in the States, if you're having problems with your torch lighters, just remember, go get some Colibri or read the comments for some other suggestive brands that might be at hardware stores near you. So just in case you might have to order it online. Maybe you don't want to, you just want to go to a store and pick it up. So all my American friends, please comment below what butane works for you all the time. And that's always running in your equipment. And now, the number one thing you are doing absolutely wrong with your Zippo is you are not willing to do the maintenance to your Zippo. I am sorry, but maintenance is a must on these things, especially if you're using fluid. These are just like a car. You have to do the maintenance. Every so often, there's some maintenance you have to do, whether it be cleaning your insert, oiling your hinge, repacking your insert with different types of cotton, or putting the wick in an S shape so it actually saturates the fluid properly. There's so many things you could be doing to maintain this, filling it up on a regular basis. Like, the best thing I could say is when you go on a long car trip, do you just leave from your house and drive till you run out of gas? No, you stop at a gas station before you go and you fill it up. And then you go on your trip. You should be doing that with a Zippo. If you're planning to leave the house for the weekend or long period of time, you should be filling up your Zippo before you leave. So everyone, that's my video on the 5 things you're doing wrong with your Zippo. If I forgot anything, please comment in below. Let me know what I missed. And if you have any other suggestions, please leave them down. Thanks for liking, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.